Hello and welcome to Braintree High School here as your Braintree Womps take on the Weymouth Wildcats here for varsity volleyball. Mike Wasson here on BCAM TV, and Braintree again heading into today's game coming off a win over Norwood and now facing a Wildcats team they've already beaten this season 3-0 on the road, looking to again pick up another victory, looking to get closer to the postseason mark, and it's pretty much going to have to take a win out of their schedule to get there. But this is a winnable game on the schedule for the Womps, looking to pick up a win here on a Friday night against the arch rival Weymouth Wildcats. We'll be right back for the start of set number 1 after this. Start of the opening set, and Weymouth will serve to begin it. Lofted over towards Kokoris. And the dig on the Wildcat side, it's at the net. And the opening points comes Weymouth's way. Serve into the middle of the court, and it's popped over by Wishart. Net violation on Weymouth to tie it at 1. Serve from Wishart is a good one, and that one popped up and out of play. 2-1 Weymouth. So the first 3 points have alternated, and if the trend continues, it'll be a Braintree point here. Kokoris does his job, and he gets the kill to tie it at 2. Burke will serve for Braintree, and they're looking for their first lead of the first set. Short hit into the net, and a miss hit this time for the Wildcats, and Braintree takes their first lead of 3-2 here in the first set. Again, Burke will serve, this time to the back half of the court. The back tap, and the point awarded to the Wildcats right at the net. A much more confident Braintree team than we saw at the beginning part of the season, as this group has really come together, playing together, and they found a way to piece it together even though they've lost a lot of valuable pieces from last year's team. And again, going back on top 4-3 with the point here. Serve from Kokoris, and a dig as the pass towards the net, and a block again by Braintree, but they're not able to corral it. And that's been a good point here of emphasis for the Wildcats to begin this one. They've been able to find a way to break through Braintree's line at the front of the net, tying it at 4. As Smith serves it. And the pass from Wishart to O'Donnell. That one's dug on the opposite side. Off the top of the net, back over, and Weymouth's going to have to knock it over this time, where it's dug by Kokoris. Back over to Kokoris, and it is deflected out of play off of Weymouth. So the Womps starting to piece it together and looking for consecutive points. Again, that one blocked, and it's probably going to be a carry on the Womps. Yep, that was the call as Kokoris tried to kind of just elevate the ball over the net using his palm. Tied again at 5, and the first service error of the match goes Weymouth's way. such an important stat to track, especially at this level, is the number of mistakes made on the serve. A lot of the higher potent teams go for stronger opportunities off of serves. They try and make an unhittable serve back as far as a return goes, and the Womps get the point to go up 7-5. But teams like Needham and Newton North, they really, as we saw earlier this season, make a lot of mistakes on the serves, but they expect to make them up elsewhere in their game, on blocks and on kills of their own, as Braintree's now extended their lead to 3 at 8-5. Braintree's had a lot of success against Weymouth in the past few seasons, and they've already picked up a victory once this year, looking to sweep the home and home. They played earlier at Weymouth back at the beginning portion of the season, and now as we move on to the latter half, looking to pick up a victory here today at the Herkin Gymnasium. And right now they have an 8-6 lead, and another service error on Weymouth as that one didn't make it to the net. The first sets have been so important for Braintree this season, but they haven't really been able to pick up victories in most of those first sets, which is part of the reason why they've struggled for the majority of the season. But when Braintree does get the first set, they've really played well, and that's exactly what they're looking to do here today, as they now have a 4-point lead here in the first set. Braintree has games against Quincy and Taunton, who they've already seen this year, coming up in the latter half of the season, as Braintree called for the double hit to make it a 10-7 advantage for the Womps. Pass to the outside to Kokoris, and it is in play, and a kill. Eleven to 7 Braintree as they get the benefit of the call right in front of the Wildcat bench, and a nice block as both Morin and Kokoris went up for the block, and now the set. Wasn't the cleanest of transitions for Braintree, but they're able to get the job done over the net, and now the pass and the point for the Womps at the net. Largest lead to this point of the match at 5, 12-7, and Braintree again will serve in the likes of Burke. Rocked right into the net. Kokoris was there looking to alter that shot, and it looked like he might have, as that one went directly into the net. 13-7 Braintree, and their first service error. Braintree right now halfway to the margin that they need to get to a victory here in the first set of 25, and now they're at 14 as a service error again coming off the hand of Smith. 14-8 Braintree up by 6, and Kokoris will have a jump serve, which he knocks into the net as the two teams now alternate service errors. And 4 hits on the Braintree side, making it a now 14-10 game. Nice block by Kokoris, and it's knocked underneath the net for a Braintree point to go up 15-10. A heavy return, and Weymouth able to get the kill. That was a pretty good spot on the middle side of Braintree's defense. See the 3 at the front and 3 at the back, and nobody was really in the middle of the court for the Womps. And that one is in play for an ace. So Burke expecting that one to be out, and it lands right on the line for the first ace. Pass to Kokoris, and he finds a nice spot on the court. Nobody home for Weymouth. They had 4 players at the top of the net, and that's part of the reason why they were out of position. Usually you would like to see a balance of 3 at the front, 3 at the back. Or 3 at the front, 1 in the middle, and 2 in the back. And the first ace as Dow gets it. As Braintree goes back up 5, 17-12. And this time, right off of the net, underneath the stick. Three service errors apiece for the 2 teams. We both had 1 ace apiece as well. But Braintree right now getting the better of the Wildcats, up by 4, 17-13. And it's now 17-14. As McNeil's not able to bump that one up for a teammate. Of course, that time called for the carry as he looked to really push that one over. It's all of a sudden down to 2, 17-15. Make it 17-16 as the Womps starting to slip a little bit here, and a timeout will be taken by head coach Stannard as the Womps have lost a little bit of focus after being up by 6 points. And it's now trimmed down to 1. We'll take a quick break and bring you back the remainder of the first set right after this. (17-16), Braintree with the lead. And the Wildcats have gone on a run, looking to tie the score. And they do at 17. It looked like that could have been a carry this other way. Almost identical to the way Kokoris knocked it over. So now a tie set at 17. Braintree looking to change the tide of this one, and they're starting to really slip away. This is definitely a winnable game for the Womps. And if they want any aspiration of making a postseason berth, it's going to have a win here today. Deflected off of Braintree, and a 19-7 advantage. 19-17. And Braintree already using 1 timeout, may have to be forced to use a second. Even though they use the timeout, usually you see the team refocus and gain some points right out of that timeout, but this has not been the case here. A short serve. Braintree, well, miscommunication. Lucky to knock that one over. And a fortunate double hit as Braintree gets the point to cut the lead to 1, 19-18. And now looking to tie it with a serve from O'Donnell. Nice dig from Kokoris, and Braintree would do well to gain a point out of it. And that one was just returned right before it hit the floor. Kokoris a second chance. And that one up in the ceiling takes a nice bounce for the Womps, who play it over. And for a third time, we see a volley. Back over, and again returned. Back and forth we go. An opportunity for Kokoris. Blocked again, and the double hit. That could have gone either way, but it gets a Weymouth point, and now a 20-18 point. Margin of victory now 2. Haven't seen many of Weymouth's game this year, but I would assume that that was probably one of their best points that they've recorded during the duration of their season, as that one went back and forth 7 times over the net. And Kokoris ties it, or actually cuts the lead to 1 at 2019. That was in play. And now the call is being reversed to make it 21-18. It looked like that one was along the line, and maybe the pleading from the head coach from Weymouth earlier on a call got a makeup call. 21-18. Kokoris to the back end, nobody home, and the Womps get it. It's down to 2, 21-19. Blocked and out of bounds off of Braintree. Again, Braintree does have 1 timeout left if they would like to use it, which it looks like they may right here. So the Womps trailing 22-19 here in the final stages of this first set. And it really has been almost a tale of 2 halves to this first set. It was all Braintree in the first half, where they had a 6-point lead. I believe it was 16-10, and now the Wildcats have gone on a monumental run, outscoring Braintree 12-3 since that point, and they now enjoy a 3-point lead coming out of the timeout. Let's see if Braintree is able to rebound from this 3-point deficit coming out of their second and final timeout of this first set. And Weymouth taking seems to be the full duration of the timeout. Braintree getting the message quickly. They know what's at stake here. Don't want to drop the first set. Makes it tougher to come back, especially knowing that they'd have to win 3 of the next 4. So the timeout has concluded, and the set by Kokoris. And Braintree does get the point, as that one skips right in front of Thomas along the other side. Back to within 2, 22-20. Braintree could really use an ace or a quick point off of a serve. Deflected off of Kokoris and out of bounds. Back to 3, 23-20. Again, Braintree out of timeouts here in this first set, so they won't be able to talk it over any longer. Weymouth 2 points away from a potential victory here in the first set. The dig from Burke, and now the pass to Kokoris, who slams it down. Womps can no longer afford to trade points. Looking for 2 consecutive to pull within 1. Knocked over with the left hand. And now O'Donnell popped up. And just returns Very fortunate for the Wildcats, as that one is going to be a Weymouth point on 4 hits for the Womps. That was a big mistake because it should have been a Braintree point based off of just that lack of communication that Weymouth had on their opposing hit. And now, set point here in set 1. Beautiful hit from Kokoris to get the kill and bring Braintree within 2. The Womps will have to score 2 more to keep it going. Must win by 2 at the high school level, up to 25. And that ends it here in the first set, 25-22, as the Wildcats pick up a victory in set 1, as the 2 teams will now switch sides, and Braintree will look to rebound from dropping the first set. We'll be right back for set number 2 after this.
Great athleticism by the Lady Womp. Looking for the pylon, and he's got it. Touchdown, Braintree.
Off the glass for 2. Shot from Stimson, and it's redirected in front. Welcome back. Set number 2 underway. Mike Wassel here for BCAM TV, and the Womps trailing 1-0, and now trailing 1-0 here in the second set. So based on paper, this one turned out to look like it was going to be a Braintree victory from start to finish, but to this point, Weymouth is taking it to Braintree, and right now looking for a commanding 2-0 lead. Again, that's back to the point I was making earlier, where Braintree has really struggled to put it together to begin the games, as that one was knocked over by O'Donnell and tapped over by Wishart and knocked out by Weymouth to tie it at 1. The slow starts have resulted in Braintree really being forced to be on the defensive, and it really doesn't play into their strengths where they have to come back from a large deficit. Playing from in front makes it a little bit easier because you know the mistakes don't hurt as much. Knocked over by Morin. Popped up, and the pass to the opposite side. And it is returned. That one may have landed out. And now it does land out, but off of a Braintree hand. That was off of Kokoris' arm. Oh. Two to 1 the lead for Weymouth and the serve. Pass to Kokoris, goes short with it. And not a great pass, but it's still returned. And now a kill at the net. And Braintree again will take an early timeout, as things just haven't gone their way to begin this one, as they now trail 3 points to 1 here in set 2. Already trailing 1-0. We'll take a quick break and be right back. Three to 1 as Braintree looks to trim into that, and a net violation on Weymouth results in the point for the Womps to make it 3-2. Pass, and Kokoris is blocked right back. for the point. Right now, the blocking has been strong for Weymouth. Usually that's one of the Womp's stronger suits. Right now being outplayed at the net. And that one goes around the pole and out of bounds. Course has it returned. Braintree was starting to celebrate like they got it, and now it's a 5-2 game still. Pass, and Kokoris this time is blocked, and that one nearly took off the referee's head. And the referee laughing it off. Probably wouldn't have been a fun way to start the weekend. A carry on Weymouth, and now Braintree has trimmed the lead down to 1. They're within 1 at 5-4. And now it's tied at 5. A little surge for the Womps. That was the surge you expected to begin this second set. Push to the back end where it is dug by Burke, and now the pass. Popped up at the net, blocked. Set up again, and blocked again by Braintree, looking to finish the point. Third opportunity for Braintree to get the point, and they play it to the back end instead of going for a kill shot, and Weymouth does get it. A little bit too passive on the Braintree side. Should have been more aggressive and gone for the kill instead of just returning on that position. Tough play for Kokoris, which he can't make. And Braintree has one timeout left, but I think it's a little bit too early to use it. They already used one, trailing 3-1, and now they trail 7-5. Blocked at the net. Right now, Miller having a strong game and really causing havoc at the front of the net. And that one out of bounds. Braintree trailing by 4 points here in the second set, in danger of dropping back-to-back sets to begin this match. Weymouth again getting the point, and they've now doubled Braintree up at 10-5. That one just a miss hit from Kokoris. The short serve able to knock it over the net, and what a hit from Kokoris, but it was returned and blocked, but on the Weymouth side. So Miller taking a taste of his own medicine as he was blocked. So what seemed to be a block from the Braintree side landing on the Weymouth side of the court, which would result in a Braintree point. Now the referee's talking it over as if it was the other way around. And that's going to be the call that stands, so it's now 11-5. Instead of 10-6, it's 11-5. So a big swing of points as that one popped up in the air. That's the second time here in the match that Braintree has assumed that they have scored a point, and the call hasn't gone their way. Now trailing by 7. Another block for the Wildcats, this time at the net. And a nice kill shot from Burke. One of the few times that Weymouth has actually been out of position here in the match. Wildcats trying to catch the Womps off guard, but they knock it out on their own. 12-7. Braintree with back-to-back points, looking to string together 3 consecutive. And they do. Back-to-back miss hits right at the net by Jones. Backhanded over, and the pass to O'Donnell, who throws that one down with the carry. To make it now a 13-8 game. That one not needed for Braintree, who had probably a clean point. A double hit on the Weymouth side. Braintree back within 4. Starting to close the gap. It was 7. It's now down to 4. And the Womps looking to do what Weymouth did in the first set where that one played on the back end. That would have been out of bounds. Wildcats know they made a mistake. And Braintree had to play that. That would have landed on the line. Nice dig, and Kokoris able to dig it right back. Pass to Moore, he's blocked. And a net violation on Weymouth. That one a tough one to swallow. Block, but on the Braintree side, it's back to 4 at 14-10. Pass to O'Donnell, and it's returned on the opposite side. And 4 hits for Weymouth. 14-11. Braintree keeps getting closer, but they haven't been able to get any closer than 3. This one has to go over on the Braintree side, and it does, just barely, as it pops off the top of the net. And 4 hits. Actually, that one went over, but Braintree wasn't able to return. A weird ruling, but that's the way it is here at Braintree High School with the stuff over the top of the net, just above or underneath the ceiling. And another point to make it a 1-point game now, and this might be a time for Weymouth to take their first time out. We haven't seen them take one to this point here through the first set and a half. Braintree's already taken 3. So an opportunity now for Braintree to tie it at 14. Bit a quick hit from Jacobs, and just like that, it is back to 2 at 15-13. Braintree very much out of position. Everybody was that one corner. And it's back up to 3, 16-13. I don't think the Womps were expecting that one to be returned so quickly. Kokoris doesn't leave a doubt this time as he gets the kill to make it 16-14. As Braintree continues to get closer. Blocked at the net, but out of bounds. Out of bounds. Off of Braintree again, as back to 4, 18-14, and the final timeout here of the second set for the Womps as they trail 1-0 and now trail by 4 here in the second set, 18-14. We'll be right back. (18-14) coming out of the Braintree timeout, their final of the second set. Pass to Kokoris, and he mishits it. Haven't seen many mishits from Kokoris this season. He's certainly been Braintree's most consistent player all year. But right now, this Braintree team as a whole is struggling to put it all together for a consecutive set, and that's the reason they trail 1-0 and now trail 19-15. Blocked at the net, and 4 hits. Called it for a carry anyway. It would have been 4 hits. Within 3 at 19-16. That one right off of his head, but it's still played. A lot of the rules that you would expect things not to be eligible. You can kick it, you can also use your head, which is very different than a lot of the actions that you would consider to be legal. But that one getting a little bit of laughter out of the crowd, but giving it right back and getting a point for the Wildcats to pull back and go up by 3 points, 20-17. That one flies high up in the air, and nobody's there for the Wildcats to try and return as Braintree pulls within 2. And that one deflects off of a Wildcat hand and down. That was Miller. And Braintree, as close as they've been, now down just by 1. 20-19 as Braintree looking to steal this second set. Middle of the court and the pass. And Kokoris. And it lands on the Weymouth side with 4 hits. And a timeout taken by Weymouth, as it's now tied at 20. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back. (20-20) coming out of the timeout. Braintree looking for their first lead of the second set, and that one is out of bounds. Very close. Had to get a last look at it. It looked to be in bounds, but that was a Weymouth kid that was the official. Both teams giving one player from, usually it's the JV team, so it was a Weymouth student that made the call, so obviously they're not going to be giving Braintree the benefit of the doubt, but very questionable call. And now it's knocked out again, and it's just like that. It's 22-20, Braintree with the lead. Things have turned around since the middle stages of this second set, and this would be a huge swing and a turning point in the game if Braintree takes this one in the second set after they were down by 7, 12-5 at one point. And that one is out of bounds. 22-21. Knocked over, and Braintree with the pass. O'Donnell has his attempted spike blocked. So it looked like a Weymouth player maybe turning an ankle when he landed. He seems to be walking it off, and he's going to stay in the game. Working on that right ankle, it looks like. 23-21 as Braintree serves. Pass for O'Donnell this time. It is pinballing, and that would have been out of bounds, but Burke decides to play it. Braintree hoping to get a point anyway. Set up by Kokoris, and now the pass for O'Donnell, and it's in bounds just along the sidelines. That was a big mistake by Weymouth, because that should have been played right there along the side, and a timeout taken, the final here in the second set for Weymouth. Braintree already out of timeouts, and now a set point coming up out of this timeout. 24-21 as Braintree has the lead here in the second set. After giving away the first set, they were up by 6. So Weymouth taking set 1 by a score of 25-22, and Braintree now looking to win 25-21 with the point coming out of this timeout. Both teams utilizing the full duration of this timeout, usually get a minute and 15, and the two teams usually separate maybe after 30 seconds to 45 seconds, but here right now they're taking all minute and 15, as now the two teams separate from their huddles. And Braintree again with set point, looking to pick up and tie the match at 1 set each. Tapped over, and here is an opportunity for Braintree to win set 2, and they do on the deflection, falling out of bounds as Braintree wins set 2, 25-21. So the Womps now even at one set each. 25-22 Weymouth in set 1, 25-21 Braintree in set 2. We'll be back for the pivotal third set right after this. Start of the third set here at Braintree High School. Both teams have one set each, and Braintree gets the opening point. So you have to wonder how much of that momentum will carry over from Braintree stealing that second set. Probably should be the score of the game anyway at one set each. And a big mistake on the Weymouth side as that one drops in between two players. Blocked at the net. And a violation on Weymouth. It's 3-0 Braintree. The Womps really starting off strong here to begin the third set. Weymouth finally gets on the board and to make it a 3-1 game. And they will now serve. Nice kill as McNeil got up high. Good hop shown there at the net. Smacked right down, but Weymouth able to return it. And a good recovery from Wishart, and he gets the point. As Braintree now up by 4-5-1. Good dig from O'Donnell, and now the pass as McNeil has his attempted shot blocked. And Kokoris able to muscle that one over. So Kokoris had two players blocking his attempted spike, and it carried over the net and onto the Weymouth side of the court. And just like that, it's up to 5 at 6-1. This is a Weymouth team that has really struggled all year. And you have to wonder, in this type of game, if they may come unglued after, probably in their minds, they should be up 2-0, but to me, I would expect it to be a 1-1 game just the way it is, based on what we saw. Braintree really dominating in the first set, but they lost that first set before being outplayed in most of that second set before winning. So Braintree knocking that one into the net. It's now 7-2. Braintree has 2 aces to this point, Weymouth with 1. Haven't been many serving mistakes, just 4 for Weymouth and 3 for Braintree. The chorus with a monster hit, and that one nowhere close to being returned. 8-2 Braintree. It'll be Kokoris on the jump serve. That one floats. And it is a Braintree point. 4 hits on the Weymouth side. Blocked, but out of bounds off of a womp, and it's 9-3. O'Donnell has it blocked. And again, this time he gets the point. So the second time is the charm for O'Donnell. And it's back up to 7 at 10-3. Braintree really starting strong to begin this third set, looking to take a 2-1 lead. But they have a service error, their 4th. Again, it's been pretty clean on both sides with the serving. Just 4 each through the first 2.5 sets. That one sneaks through 3 Braintree blockers at the net. And Weymouth gets another point. Surprising with the number of bodies that were there for Braintree that one wasn't blocked. Found its way through the arms. And the Womp's giving away another point. Braintree with the lead, but Weymouth closing the gap. And Kokoris really pounding that one down. That one, Karam's really high up in the air. And what a hit by Weymouth to keep that one going. They caught a break that one hung up on the backboard. Again, everything in play here at Braintree High School, and that time it went against Braintree as that one hit the top of the backboard and stayed up, allowing Weymouth to get to it. Knocked over and still alive before Weymouth gets the point. They're now within 3 at 11-8. Now within 2 after the ace. Another short hit and a mistake. Seen some teams try those types of serves. We saw Newton North do that a few times last week, but really, I don't like the strategy based off the percentages. Already with 3 people at the net, it almost makes it tough to get an ace. Weymouth looking for a deflection. It was not deflected, and it was a Braintree point at 13-9. And now back-to-back points. Lead is back at 5, 14-9. So Weymouth, after closing within 2, has now dropped the last 3, and it's back to 5 at 14-9. The chorus takes the gift wrapped and just pounds it down right on the B at midcourt. That wasn't a smart play. That was really just setting up Kokoris for an easy kill. Probably one of the easiest points you'll have during the rest of the season. Wildcats trying to stop the bleeding as they close within 5, 15, 10. Frustration starting to settle in on the Weymouth side. You can see it from both the coaching and the bench. A lot of mistakes here in this third set for Weymouth. Knocked over on the third try. Braintree with an opportunity to go up by 7. And there it is. No, it's not. It was right along the edge, very close. Based on the initial glance, it looked like Braintree may have looked to appeal that. And still talking it over, but they're not going to win the argument as Braintree leads by 5, 16-11. Double hit on Burke. After the fortunate bounce, hitting off the top of the net and carrying over. Weymouth now with an opportunity to get within 3. 16-12. Braintree with the lead. So Weymouth as close as they've been in a while at 2. Coaching staff for Weymouth starting to get frustrated all along the sidelines because they know that these are really unforced mistakes. And a poor serve from Braintree. Now 5 service errors here in the match. Still a low number, but the serves, as this one goes on, are going to continue to be so important. But this one's tied at 1. 1 set each, as Braintree closing in on a victory here in the third set, trying to go up 2 sets to 1. Short serve, but that one falls right in front of the libero. And an ace for Kokoris. 3 aces for Braintree as a team. Hitting that one around the sticks and out of bounds. Another Braintree point. They're up by 5, 20-15. Looking to win back-to-back sets, and Weymouth will take a timeout here. 20-15 the score, as Braintree has the lead, looking to take the third set and go up 2 games to 1. We'll be right back. (20 to 15) Womps coming out of the timeout. Played to the back end, where it is now played to O'Donnell, who's blocked. Set up again, this time for Kokoris, who has to bump it over. Takes a weird bounce. It's now a 4-point game at 20 to 16. Kokoris has it blocked right over the top of the net. And now it's set up this time for O'Donnell, who is blocked again. And 2 big blocks at the net to pull the Wildcats within 3 at 2017. Back-to-back points coming out of a Weymouth timeout. And now a timeout will be taken the opposite way after things didn't go Braintree's way. Coming out of the Weymouth timeout, the Womps will take one of their own, looking to close the door here in the 3rd set. Right now, a time match at 1 set each. And right now, Braintree up by 3, but that lead in jeopardy as the Wildcats have started to find a late surge. This has been a very competitive match. Braintree again has dominated Weymouth in the past few seasons, and right now the Womps allowing the Wildcats to have a little bit of hope after dropping the last 2 points and allowing the Wildcats to close within 3. But coming out of the Braintree timeout, let's see how the Womps respond. And Braintree does get a point right out of the timeout. Looked like a mistimed jump on the Weymouth side. Nice serve from McNeil. Nice block from O'Donnell and Kokoris. And that one is out of bounds as flying in was McNeil. Lucky not to get a piece of that because that would have been off him. Instead, it's off Weymouth, and Braintree now just 3 points away from taking the 3rd set. Kokoris is blocked, but it's out of bounds off of Weymouth. And Braintree now really starting to find the right direction. Just 2 points away from a victory here in the 3rd set. Set for O'Donnell, and that one out of bounds. Kokoris blocked, and now a second chance. And everybody going to their own spot, nobody going to the ball. Everybody was expecting the other teammate to go after it, and nobody did. And it drops harmlessly on the Braintree side. Fortunately, the Womps have a little bit of a cushion as they have a 4-point lead. O'Donnell, and that deflected at the net, and now it's set point. So a timeout by Weymouth with the score 24-19. Braintree leading and very well positioned here to take this third set. This was Braintree from start to finish. If you joined us late, the better team that led for most of the opening two sets didn't actually win that set. So Braintree, who was dominant in set one, didn't win set one. But Weymouth, who had a 7-point lead in the second set, 12-5, before the Womps came storming back. But this has been all Braintree pretty much from the start to finish. It was, I believe, as high as 8-1 to begin this. And they've never really looked back. They've had a good 4 or 5 point lead for almost the entire match here in this third set. And now a set point coming out of the timeout for Weymouth. Kokoris serving. And the end of the third set with the violation for Weymouth as Braintree wins 25-19, taking set 3 after taking set 2 25-21. Braintree now with a 2-1 lead. The two teams will switch sides, and we'll be back with set 4 with an opportunity for Braintree to close out the match. Back here for set number 4. Mike Wassel here for BCAM TV, and Braintree leading now 2-1 after winning the last 2 sets, but the opening point coming Weymouth's way. So Weymouth won set 1 25-22. Braintree won both sets 2 and 3, 25-21 in set 2, 25-19 in set 3, and now looking to pick up a victory here in set 4 to close out the match. Kokoris ties it at 1. The deflection going into the Weymouth bench. Lack of communication on the front line of Weymouth. Nobody deciding to make a play on it. Braintree with back-to-back points, now a 2-1 lead. Kokoris pounds that one down. Another nice block at the net, but it is knocked over on the third try. Back to Kokoris. Popped up in the air. And knocked over with the left hand. So 2 chances for Jones at the net. And the second time proved to be the right one. What a hit from McNeil, and he pounded that one down. Looks to be pretty good form on that dig, but it just took a weird ricochet off of the hands, and it went directly towards the net instead of up in the air. So Braintree with the 4-2 lead, as the referee talking over a substitution. After all that, I don't even know if we're going to even get a substitution on the Weymouth side. And again, Kokoris with the kill. That's the second time that Kokoris has really been served up an easy kill on a platter. That one right at the top of the net. Nice position along the right side to get a point back for the Wildcats. Anytime you can use the lines, it's very tough to return it because the likelihood of a team having more than one player on that side of the court is very slim. Kokoris blocked at the net, lands out of bounds, and it's off of Braintree 5-4. Sixth service error of the match for the Wildcats. Nice effort on the Weymouth side trying to make a play on that, but it was going to be out of bounds anyway. Carry against Braintree. We've seen that call a lot here today. Another block at the net. Seen a lot of those, especially from the Weymouth side. It's been a pleasant surprise for Weymouth fans to really see the play at the net improve from the start of the season. And now they've closed the gap. To have it tied at 7 now. Back on top are the Womps, 8-7. Deflected and played now by the Womps. Pushed over by O'Donnell. And swatted right into the net by Weymouth. 2 consecutive points after it was tied at 7. And now Braintree has a 9-7 lead in the 4th set. And a must-win set for Weymouth if they want to push it to a 5th and final set. And that one out of bounds. Again, off of Weymouth. 10-7 Womps as they continue to go on a nice run here with McNeil serving. That one probably would have been out of bounds as O'Donnell played it, but certainly can't fault the effort along the sideline. Never want to take a chance if you have it in question. That one was really pounded by Kokoris. Really gave Weymouth no opportunity to try and return it. Took out a little bit of his frustration on the prior play out on that hit. sixth service error against Braintree. A 2-point deficit for the Wildcats as they serve. O'Donnell blocked, but it is out of bounds. 12-9, Braintree. Pushed over by the Wildcats, and a miss hit. Trying to get that one set up for a hitter, but a miss hit. And now Braintree with a 4-point lead, but it's down to 3. Another mistake on the serve. 13-10, Womps up by 3. Pecora is blocked by a pair of Wildcats, but it lands well out of play. Another block, but this time in play and on the Weymouth side. 15-10. Braintree starting to run away with it a little bit, getting some breathing room, trying to close the match out after dropping the first set, looking to win 3 consecutive. Punched over, but out of bounds. Surprised not to see a timeout taken here as things start to unravel for Weymouth, and the game is on the line here. Big time hit for the Wildcats to close the gap to 5 at 16-11, but right now they're not able to trade points with the Womps. They're going to have to go on a run of their own, as is the case for most sports. Most games are a game of runs. You see it a lot in basketball, but right now Braintree will get a point back as that one isn't returned. Nice dig from Burke, and the pass, and McNeil with the finish. And another Womp point at the net, and a timeout is going to have to be taken here by Weymouth as things have really gotten out of hand for the Wildcats, now trailing by 8, 19-11, as Braintree enjoys a comfortable margin, looking to finish it off here at the Herkies Gymnasium. We'll take a quick break and bring you back the remainder of the fourth set after this. (19-11) coming out of the timeout. And that one is out of bounds off of Weymouth. So the Womps closing in on a big victory here at home. Wildcats able to get one back. Within 8, 22-12. And it's really now now or never for this Weymouth team if they want to have a chance to come back. Going to have to win this 4-set, and what a hit. I don't know how that was returned. Back and forth we go with great returns. And there is one. And Braintree given the point. That's a tough one for Weymouth to swallow. That one a pivotal call. It's now 21-12 and now 22-12. And that's just about going to finish it off. Braintree now up by 10. And a victory very much within grasp. Good spot on the court for the Wildcats to trim it down to 9. Braintree very dominant last set and so far here in this 4th. This will probably be the best set they've played all game long. And 4 hits on the Womps. They weren't able to knock it over. Good hit on the Braintree side. So now 2 points away from match point. Nice serve again from McNeil. Braintree this time guilty of the net violation. The Womps just 1 point away from a victory here at home. 24-15 as match point. And a chance to finish it off as Kokora serves. This one to the back line may have been out of bounds, but it's played. And the chance now for Braintree to win it. And there it is. As the Womps win it, 25-14 here in the 4th and final set here at Braintree High School. The Womps winning 3-1. So Braintree, after losing set 1, 25-22, came back to win 3 consecutive to win here today. 25-21 in set 2, 25-19 in set 3, and 25-14. And the most dominant set of the match came last for Braintree, who picks up a big victory here today against arch rival Weymouth. So for the final time here at the Herc Gymnasium for Jennifer Bergoli, I'm Mike Wassel. We'll see you next time.